Welcome back to the Danny Briere Did It Again show. Trevor Zegras just signed for 4 year, $36.5 million contract with the Flyers, $9.125 million a year for a guy who has a career high of 67 points. Danny Briere, you did it again. Just weeks after losing the Leo Carlsson offer sheet battle, Briere added another chapter to his blunder book. I'm going to tell you exactly why, too. Zegras is 25 years old, a restricted free agent. He won up Briere and filed for arbitration, and then now signed his new deal on July 15th, right close before he was going into arbitration, right? So last season with the Flyers, Zegras put up 26 goals, 67 points in 81 games, career highs across the board. In the playoffs, 6 points in 10 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, before the Flyers were eliminated by your Carolina Hurricanes. So, career total 253 points in 349 games. That's 0.72 points per game across his entire career. Never had a point per game season, never even came close. Briere just paid him like a franchise cornerstone. Here's what I'm thinking about this whole thing. Zegras played Briere, and Zegras won. When a restricted free agent, for those who don't know, file for arbitration, they're basically setting a deadline. Pay me now, or we're going to decide a 1 year deal for you. It's a leverage move. In recent years, arbitration judges have trended towards the players. It doesn't go well between the team and the players when you get to arbitration. So Zegras filed for it. That gave Briere a choice: gamble on arbitration, ruin the relationship, or pay up now. Briere paid up, and paid up too much. Zegras signed for $9.125 million a year. Earlier projections going into this, guys, before Zegras outplayed the negotiating table. Before this, we were talking 7.5 to 8 million. That's $1 to $1.5 million premium directly because Briere got outmaneuvered. Multiply that over the 4 year deal, that's $4 to $6 million more than he was projected to get. Smart general managers preempt arbitration. They sign restricted free agents before the filing date because they know they need to control the leverage. Briere let it get to filing. Briere let Zegras dictate the terms. Briere lost the negotiation before he even started. And I'm going to talk about the deal itself next, but for those of you who are screaming to yourselves, hey, the salary cap's going up, man, this isn't a big deal. Don't worry, I'm going to get to you. I'm going to get to that. Here's the first problem with Zegras' deal. He's not a point per game player. 0.72 career points per game. All right. This 67-point season, if it was not his best, it was one of his best seasons. So you're paying him franchise cornerstone money. That annual value of a salary is reserved, in my opinion, to guys who are around 80 points in a season, maybe more. The guys who kind of carry your team or are two-way players. Zegras isn't that guy. Not yet. Could he become that guy? Maybe. So you're going to pay that he's going to be that. He had a nice bounce back year, right? After, maybe the change of scenery helped. But you don't pay that for bounce back. You pay that for proven elite production right now. Briere paid for potential, and he paid because he was out leveraged at the negotiating table. Second problem, biggest one in my mind, the term is even worse than what he's paying. It's a 4 year deal. Zegras is 25 now. When the contract expires, he's 29. That's his prime. That's his absolute peak years. Smart general managers what do they do with young restricted free agents? We'll just take Sebastian Aho. There's plenty of examples, but since I'm a Hurricanes fan, 8 years, $78 million with Carolina at age 25, right? And he was at 9.75 average annual value. We're keeping him to 33 through his entire prime, right? That happens all the time. Briere signs Zegras for half of that term at a higher average annual value. So if Zegras develops into an elite player that, Briere thinks he's paying him to, the Flyers are going to be having trouble re-signing him at 29. They're going to be dealing with the unrestricted free agency. Watch him go win a cup somewhere else. If Zegras doesn't develop, the Flyers are stuck overpaying him for 4 years. There's no scenario where this term makes the Flyers better. Why did you do 4 years? Well, because you didn't come to the negotiating table in a strong way. Now I know the counter argument, Keegan, the salary cap is going up, right? Like of the projected salary cap is going to be like 8%. Byram just signed for 12.5 million with Chicago. Market's inflating fast. Fair point. But here's the thing. Rising cap doesn't give Danny Briere license to be reckless, right? You don't overpay a 67-point player just because of that. Rising cap doesn't excuse signing him for half of the term of every other comparable free agent or restricted free agent, right? Rising cap doesn't excuse you getting outmaneuvered and losing leverage at the negotiating table. If anything, a rising cap makes smart management more important because when everyone's spending more, the teams that are making smart decisions and don't panic and overpay are the ones that win. Rising cap isn't like a strategy. Rising cap, go reckless. It's an excuse, right? For making bad decisions and being in bad positions. So there's a pattern here, right? I think that Briere put a target on his back. And I mentioned this before. You guys are going to lose Michkov, right? But that was one strike. The Leo Carlsson offer sheet, big. I mean, he just set the salary for the highest player in the NHL, right? Carlsson is now. The Ducks matched. Flyers had to come back and now figuring out what to do. Now Zegras has filed arbitration already, right? Briere, it goes to the negotiating table and give him a 4-year deal, potentially lose him at his peak. I mean, what is going on there, right? I mean, it feels like the front office is directionless over there. So look, the cap's rising, fine. Doesn't mean you throw money at problems. Doesn't mean you sign for half the time that you should be. It looks like mistakes are happening, and it looks like reckless mistakes. And look, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to dunk on Philly at all, right? We share a legend in Rod Brind'Amour. I'm sure if we want to agree, we can both agree Rod Brind'Amour should be in the Hall of Fame, right? If you don't agree with me there, then I don't even know. But here's the deal. I'm just going to call it like I see it. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but hopefully just respect that Philly fans, I hope you respect. I'm a guy who calls it like I see it. I don't really get what Danny Briere is doing with this team. All right. I like Zegras. He's a good player. That's a lot of money for him. I'm sure those that disagree with me are going to let me know in the comments. All right. Hit that subscribe if you enjoy talking about hockey. Catch you in the next video.